afternoon, and welcome to Bearcast News. I'm Ella Wahlquist. Our top stories today: a new program allows UC students to foster shelter animals, how you can take a furry friend on a walk between classes. And 2 students have started a program to give young women in business a leg up on their careers. Plus, a popular chain restaurant is opening its doors on Calhoun Street. It's the school year, and many college students are away from home and their pets, but a furry friend might not be so far away. Bella Livingston tells us more.
With more than 8,000 animals brought through the Hamilton County shelter every year, Cincinnati Animal Care wants to ensure that all dogs receive the attention they deserve. However, that requires help from students at the University of Cincinnati.
We can go and have an incredible weekend where we adopt out over 100 animals, but in the 72 hours that follow, another 100 animals will come through our doors.
Lisa Colin with Cincinnati Animal Care urges students to join the UC Animal Care Ambassador Program. While in this program, students have the opportunity to take dogs out of the shelter for a day on a non-committal day trip or foster dogs for a few days or weeks at a time. On day trips, students can take dogs to places they may have never seen before, like a walk on campus, a pet store, or even a drive-thru for a treat. Cincinnati Animal Care will provide students with a bag for each day trip, as well as an itinerary of dog-friendly places to spend the day.
If interested, students should sign up through volunteer.uc.edu to be matched with a dog. For many students in the Lindner College of Business, getting started in their careers may seem overwhelming. That's why 2 students started the Women in Entrepreneurship organization. Young women can interact with the business world and develop their resumes as early as freshman year. Once in WIE, members can choose between 4 departments: finance, marketing, sales, or graphic design. Nita Khan, a co-president of WIE, says that this is not an organization where students just sit and listen to a speaker. Those involved will be doing hands-on work to prepare them for their futures. This semester, WIE is creating an internet platform to sell to companies. All money made from the website is going right back into the club's funds. Shake Shack is expanding in the Midwest, bringing a new location right here to UC. The fast casual restaurant is set to open its second Cincinnati location inside the former Keystone Bar and Grill on Calhoun Street. A spokesperson for Shake Shack confirmed the expansion, but an exact date has not yet been announced. The restaurant is expected to open sometime in 2025. Shake Shack is known for its made-to-order burgers, crispy chicken sandwiches, hand-spun milkshakes, and house-made lemonades. The Clifton location will give Bearcats a new spot to grab a bite. Generative AI is a hot topic right now in many communities, schools, and businesses, but it might not be the miracle you think. Artificial intelligence requires a lot of power to operate, up to 10 times the amount used by common search engines like Google or Bing. Dr. Laura Zanotti, an environmental science professor at UC, is concerned about the impacts of broad AI usage on the environment and local communities.
So it might include, for example, environmental degradation to build those data centers in general. It might include other aspects of resource degradation in and around those data centers. It might stress water systems.
She says AI users should be mindful of how they use these tools. She anticipates that as AI becomes more widespread, information about mindful AI usage will be created. This will allow users to understand the environmental and social impacts of artificial intelligence. Many college students rely on energy drinks to keep them going throughout the day, but are they doing more harm than good? Pearl Lewandowski tells us more.
Energy drinks have become a go-to for college students, offering a quick boost to keep up with their demanding schedules. But with growing health concerns, are these drinks worth the risk? Today we'll explore the potential consequences of these high-caffeine beverages. Energy drinks like Red Bull, Alani Nu, and Bubbler have become a staple on college campuses across the country, including here at the University of Cincinnati, where free samples are handed out to students rushing between classes. But for some students, these energy-packed drinks come with hidden risks.
So I never drank energy drinks until college. I started drinking them near the end of my freshman year, and it was only Alani's because that's the only energy drink I liked. September of 2023, my liver area was hurting a whole lot for a week, and then one night me and my boyfriend went to a Bengals game, and it was so bad that we had to leave and go to the ER. Then I pushed for them to do a CAT scan. and they found like a tear in my liver.
Doctors eventually linked the tear in her liver to her daily consumption of energy drinks, particularly Alani Nu, which contained 200 milligrams of caffeine per can.
But when I told them it was Alani too, they were like, those are packed with caffeine. It's bad.
Denise has since stopped drinking energy drinks and the pain has gone away, but her experience highlights the potential dangers of consuming too much caffeine.
It is a billion-dollar industry. It's taken off recently in the last decade or two. And with the habits that university students have, late nights, early mornings, high-stress environments, I guess they're turning to those products that are marketed heavily and maybe not doing the research in terms of what may be in those drinks.
Professor Steves explains that the energy drinks are categorized as supplements, meaning they're not subject to the same FDA regulations as food and beverages.
So that is one of the dangers of these energy drinks. They're not as highly regulated in terms of exactly what goes in them, in terms of how much caffeine or carbohydrate or taurine or other elements or chemicals or substances that may have an additive effect.
The FDA's recommended daily limit of caffeine is 400 milligrams, equivalent to about 2 energy drinks or 4 cups of coffee. While energy drinks might give you your quick fix, the potential health risks shouldn't be overlooked. Experts advise drinking caffeine in moderation and turning to healthier, more sustainable sources of energy. This is Pearl Lewandowski for This Week in Cincinnati.
Thanks, Pearl. Up next, we'll be talking all things sports. We have updates for you about UC's spring athletics and the deal with NIL for college athletes. Stick around. Welcome back. Spring sports are ramping up in Cincinnati as the Bearcats look to field teams for the 5 sports of the season. Headlining the spring lineup is Cincinnati baseball, where second-year head coach Jordan Bischel will look to make an impact with his squad on the diamond. Last year, Cincinnati finished 5th in the Big 12 with a 32-35 record overall. The Bearcats women's lacrosse team will have a veteran at their heel with Gina Thomas in her 13th season. Cincinnati will also gear up with their women's tennis team, which is starting its 20th season. Both the Cincinnati men and women's golf teams started their season in September and have been placed as high as second during their fall meets. The track and field teams have already broken records. As the season continues, UC plans to continue that success and potentially break more. Ever since NIL was legalized on July 1st, 2021, it has been the talk of college athletics. Athletes at UC are able to profit off their name, image, and likeness as they play their sports during their collegiate careers. Cincinnati NIL collective Cincy Reigns is the driving force that disperses money between Bearcat athletes. Other companies, such as Fifth Third Banking, which UC's basketball arena is named after, have deals with basketball players Jizzle James, Dan Skillings Jr., and Dylan Mitchell. Local brands such as Better Blend and Mio's also sponsor athletes from less represented sports, allowing everyone to benefit from NIL. Up next, Colin Kunz tells us about UC's 1819 esports program.
Just off the University of Cincinnati's campus, inside the 1819 Innovation Hub, sits the UC Esports Lab. Home to all things esports, the lab features 40 high-end gaming machines, a community lounge, broadcasting studio, private competition room, and a conference room.
Fortunate to have what we have here at Cincinnati, given this space.
Both the president and the vice president are grateful for the space and describe it as fundamental and not too over the top.
It's the most fundamental space.
Standard space.
Yeah, it's just 8 rows, good amount of space in between them, good amount of space between every setup. It's just perfect.
The lab is open to all currently enrolled UC students and opened in the spring semester of 2022. It sits inside the 1819 Innovation Hub located inside the University of Cincinnati's Cincinnati Innovation District. Besides being open to free play for students, the lab also is host to many tournaments for popular esports games.
We got pretty much all the popular games right now. Overwatch 2, Valorant, League of Legends, Call of Duty, the yearly release, Rocket League, Rainbow Six Siege. We even got some more niche stuff like chess.com.
The arena has held various different tournaments and various different games, hosting teams from across the country.
In terms of hosting, it's
getting up early.
Yeah, it's
really early in the morning and driving here to help set up, and usually running little errands, hopefully for players to be able to get their energy up in the morning, and then usually troubleshooting a few PCs because we tend to have some issues, especially on important days when it is very inconvenient.
The planning for these events happens months in advance, and the events are held at a professional level.
It's definitely a lot of bells and whistles for these massive intercollegiate events. It's weeks, maybe months of preparation beforehand, making sure we reach out to the proper teams. I know we've had Canadian teams come over, we've had Californian teams come over. So it's definitely a lot of moving parts.
The UC Esports Lab is a favorite in the community, and the UC Esports Club only continues to grow with more and more students joining each semester.
Thanks, Colin. If you are interested in learning more about UC Esports Club, go to uc.edu/campaigns/esports. Up next, some debates in politics. We'll have all of the details on Senate Bill 1 and some protests happening around the city and campus. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Senate Bill 1 is sending waves through Ohio's colleges and universities. The bill prohibits many campus policies and institutions, such as student members of the Board of Trustees for their school. The bill also targets potential causes of political controversy, such as climate, electoral, and foreign policies. The 75-page bill is expected to be reviewed by the Ohio House of Representatives in the coming weeks. With the presidential inauguration a little over a month ago, many Ohioans are wondering what will happen to Vice President J.D. Vance's Senate seat. Governor Mike DeWine has appointed John Husted to fill the spot, but his position isn't guaranteed for the entire term. President Donald Trump recently endorsed entrepreneur and politician Vivek Ramaswamy for the seat. Ohio will hold a special election during the midterm cycle in 2026 to determine if John Husted will fill the seat for the remainder of J.D. Vance's term as vice president. Since President Trump took office, many Cincinnati residents have taken to the streets to protest his recent policies. Bella Livingston went to a recent protest downtown to check it out.
I'm not the type of person that comes out and stands up really often, but it is time to come out and stand up. It is not a time to sit at home.
Hundreds of people gathered on Fountain Square to protest President Donald Trump's latest immigration policies. Many people I spoke to say they are speaking out for those who can't, making sure their voices are not silenced. The protest comes after President Donald Trump directed the Department of Homeland Security to carry out the deportation of immigrants in the country illegally. The Department of Homeland Security posted on X that ICE agents have arrested more than 8,000 people during President Trump's first 2 weeks in office. Many protesters on Fountain Square vow to keep showing up to protests until they see change in how the local and national governments are dealing with deportation efforts.
Tensions have risen on UC's campus as well, with many students voicing their opinions on recent university policy changes. I went to a recent protest to check it out.
The people united will never be defeated!
Students at the University of Cincinnati have been peacefully protesting recent campus policy changes for a few weeks. It started when President Neville Pinto announced that the university would be complying with recent executive orders and Senate Bill 1, which aimed to censor DEI language and programs. This could lead to many offices and centers closing and limiting scholarships and opportunities for minorities on campus. Tension increased further when the university changed bathroom signs in Calhoun Hall to say biological men and biological women instead of men and women. The biggest protest so far was held outside a Board of Trustees meeting in the Teachers' Dyer building. Protesters filled the hallway, stairwell, and surrounding courtyard, chanting, holding signs, and some even banging on the walls. Students, faculty, staff, and community members were there making their voices heard.
I think the university administration is a bunch of cowards. And like I say, they are betraying us.
The meeting lasted about 90 minutes, and when President Pinto and trustees were escorted back to University Pavilion, they were surrounded by security guards. One student got a little too close and was pushed by an officer. He claims he was just exercising his right to protest.
And the policemen just grabbed me by your ear and threw me. We're just here peacefully, and they, wanted to bring violence, so.
Participants continued to protest for hours afterwards, marching across campus and through buildings. Smaller demonstrations have been held since then, including one outside of University Pavilion and Tangeman University Center. Student organizations such as the Young Democratic Socialists of America were tabling in support of the protesters.
A big part of what YDSA does here at University of Cincinnati is we organize a lot of events and organize a lot of campaigns to help combat these things.
As DEI's place on campus changes, UC students continue to organize protests and spread information on social media. Whether the university will make any more changes remains to be seen. Ella Wahlquist with Bearcast News. That's all we have for today. Thank you for coming with us. I'm Ella Wahlquist with Bearcast News.